Okay, so down at the brook, we've got the army down helping here. This is one of the really badly hit regions of the brook, or a tributary that goes into the brook, because what you're looking at here, this is hundreds of meters where water came up. This used to be all grass and a little bridge and the brook running through, and some of the army guys just helping out with labour by the looks. And I've just come through where there's just so many trees down, and there's just all of this, you know, see this mud and silt and debris. So parts of the brook are being really still and becoming stagnant, which isn't very healthy. I feel very bad for, look at the footpath here, I feel really bad for all of the wildlife that's washed out into the bay. You know, we have usually got a really healthy ecosystem here with the brook, and it's full of fish and frogs and turtles and probably eels and snakes. I can't see the screen, by the way, just because of the light. I'm just guessing I'm vaguely in the frame. A lot of trees along the brook have actually died as well. But yeah, this has just been a dumping ground along here because it's one of the broader, flatter parts of the brook. And it's not showing really how high it's come up in some areas, because this is sort of only however many meters up from the normal water level, but in some places it's been up to bridges that are, you know, probably 10 meters tall. And all the bird life out there still trying to, you know, still trying to eke out their lives. So it's a really massive cleanup, and this is not even any, you know, it's not at the river, it's just a little brookway. This hasn't even dried up. Great. I mean, it did say the footpath was closed, but I'm trying to get to an appointment. Don't ask me how I did that, but it did involve moving that bit of paling or timber a couple of times. Why am I wearing white today? Well, might as well have a little true crime chat while we're here then. So, there is something that I do want to address, because it's bugged me for a little while now. It's something to do with Delphi. Sorry, I'm being very strangely vain, aren't I? It's just I can't see myself. I'm probably glowing white because I've got sunscreen on, and when you try to take a photo with sunscreen you reflect white. With Delphi, there's a lot of theorizing, really intensifying around a couple of people specifically. And I'm not talking about Keegan and Tony Klein, who, if these people have listened to some transcripts, they would understand that they are probably looking at people involved with the murders of Abby and Libby, because, you know, you've got Tony Klein, who at one point in his miserable life, besides allegedly making Keegan's life miserable, as Keegan says, he took umbrage with the fact that a toilet clogged in a home where he lived with a woman and her child, so his stepson, and the toilet got clogged. The stepson went to the mother to tell, and Tony Klein lost his shit, so to speak. He harmed the child, and not only did he belt the child, I think this is what it says, he picked him up and he dunked him into the dirty toilet bowl. And this is the same person that has abused a woman in front of her daughter, so I don't know if this is the same family or not, and then stalked that 11-year-old. The Kleins are the ones who have things on their phones, such as an interest in trying to see photos of the dead Sandy Hook children. Now, lots of people might have done that, you know, but if we're talking about people that have had this kind of career in child abuse, child sexual assault, coercing children to send them pornographic images of themselves, and like with many obsessions, things, you know, are amping up and amping up. The stakes are getting higher and higher. You know, what's next for the thrills? What's next for the thrills? Images of murdered children, and maybe images that fulfill some sort of orders they may have received. I saw a comment somewhere and I thought it was really clever and astute. It was a comment about, we blocked down here, are we?
Huh?
Are we blocked off down here?
Can't get across the bridge, the bridge is not closed. Can't get through the bridge.
Thank you.
Can't get through there, mate.
Yeah. Oh dear, might be going to be late. So most of the riverbank, as you can see, it's tons and tons of water. I mean, tons and tons of land that's been taken out here. Tons and tons of it. Now I can actually walk up through a forest here to get up and go over to another bridge that's up higher. I might have to do that. You know, these people are known pigs and degenerates of exactly the type that would do something such as murder Abby and Libby. And what I was just about to say about Ives, remember Ives' statement that has everybody theorizing about things, me included. I've made videos about, you know, the non-secular. Oh, look, there's fish in there. About non-secular signs. Some of them are quite big, look. At least they're surviving. Not everything got washed away, eh? So the path just used to go up here, and this is all land that's been taken out. Nothing's going to be the same. Well, it'll just be different, won't it? Doesn't mean that we won't have a flourishing creek. I don't know what these freshwater fish are, because they kind of look like barramundi. But what Robert Ives is said to have said is non-secular. I could just jump there. And if he said non-secular, sure, it makes you think of ritual, of, you know, Krampus, of the devil, of Lucifer, of Freemasonry, all sorts of things, right? And what if, as I saw a commenter say, what if he said non-sequitur? So things that just seem so strange and out of place, you know, even to have happened during the murder of 2 little girls, right? Non-sequitur. Things that don't make sense. And so, you know, non-sequitur could be things where items, I guess, or posings just don't make any sense in context of the murder. You know, I guess things like putting lipstick on their face, putting a garter belt on a leg, because I mean the covering up, if the covering up occurred, things like that, which I don't think anyone should just believe offhand. Anything to do with the scene, we don't know. You would think it would have to have some sexual motivation behind it. It just seems, especially if the clients are involved, it would have to have some sexual motivation. But yeah, could it be non sequitur? Things that make absolutely no sense with regards to the crime. See the fish? Do you see them? So if the fish is still there, anyway, I'm just going to pause because I need to be action woman. Fish got a surprise. Yeah. So what I'm talking about is that there is a faction of people who are gunning for, you know, some of the old names, you know, that have been coming up since the beginning of Libby and Abby's case, and that is, you know, they're after who they call Rat Brown, and they're after an ex who they call Mayor. And in the case of Mr. Brown, one would have to think, why does he seem more logical than say the Kleins? Because, you know, he's friends with the family and they would have to willingly just not recognize him.